Hello everybody. Let me put that camera in the right angle. Okay. So, I promised to give you a proper overview of what my little fancy library does. It will eventually evolve into more things, but this is pretty much the current state of things. URLs here, I'll also put that in the description of the video. You can it's also in the description. Here's a nice getting started guide. There's also documentation here. There's a few samples here, but this is about actually showing code. So, without further ado, we go into Visual Studio. We just create a new project, web API project. Okay, we call that demo for YouTube. Okay. Next, we don't need OpenAPI support. That comes later. We just do it like that. Okay. So we delete all things we don't need. We don't need this. We don't need the controllers, and we just change the settings here because I always search for the settings in that lovely new menu. Output, debug, profiles, demo for YouTube. Okay, and this is supposed to be Swagger. Okay, so we just copy that for now and name that API definition JSON. We use that later. For now, I just make it an empty array. We'll get to that later. We just go to NuGet packages and we install my package, this one, and for the demo we use this version. That's a pre-built from another branch than the normal one, so I just use it for the demo. That's why it's here. We accept that. Okay. We go to program and we add the stuff. Let me just copy that from another project that makes it a little bit easier. Program. We do this. We do this. But tell you about what it does in a second. We do this. And I just copy all the rest from here. It's easier. So this is from a library. This is from a library, and more comes later. We just copy something I don't need yet here. Okay, so what it does is it adds the configuration for my service, and it tells the service, hey, everything we're looking for is in the current assembly. We could probably use entry assembly as well here, might make things easier. We need to add a few that belong actually there, and that is an empty array. We just need to add some settings here. And we don't necessarily need settings. There's a lot of defaults, but just for the sake of the video, we add a few settings here. And that's the settings for my library pretty much. Okay, there's something wrong here. Okay, so we for now we use an in-memory database. Sample config for YouTube A, and we give it some fancy title, and we use my email address. So in case you want to talk to me, dim@madewithcards.io. Okay. That's about it. That's all we have to do. Now we add, whoops. Oh yeah, we'll make it simple. That's the easier ways to do that, but we make it like that now. We just make a class. We call the class book. For now, we call it book, and we say this is supposed to be available under the root books, and we want all API methods. To tell the library what the primary key of the object is, we actually need to derive from iObject base. That's something you always have to do. There's no way around that right now. Might change later on, but that's how it is right now. So you always have to have an ID primary key right now. So yeah, you can't rename it. That's how you have to do it right now. And then we do that public string, no idea, book cover, whatever, doesn't really matter. We add an author. We do the same. Object base int can be. You can use a unique identifier as well. I just mostly use int. Doesn't matter. We use the same. That probably doesn't make sense. We put it name and we do that like this. Author. And we also want the authors to be available in author. API method to generate is the default. That's why it's always removing that. Okay, so that's all we did. There's only that. We can probably make things a little bit cleaner. Move that to a separate file. Okay, so we have the two classes. That's all we have. That's all we did. Now let me check the settings if that's everything is alright. Database in memory, that should work. Okay, let's start that, see if it works. Should probably, hopefully work. A lot of that is early demo. No, it's not working. What did I miss? I missed something. Something. Let me just copy the startup code from the other project. Maybe there's something wrong here. Yeah, let's see. There we are. So there's our fancy title, sample config for YouTube, and as you can see, it created the two endpoints for me. We just go to the book, we just try it, we don't need the ID, that's generated automatically. Don't need the ID for the author. Probably go to Postman later, might make things easier. Fancy title, fancy cover, and a fancy author. Execute. As you can see, it just added that. We can go to the books section. We can check that. Oh, we have the book. We don't have an author. We get to that later. We also have the author. Oops, we have the author. Now, that's in memory. In memory doesn't really it's useful for test servers, but doesn't really help probably. So we change that to SQL. We add a connection string. Right now, the connection string has to have a specific name, so you have to name it API generator database. We give it a connection string. That's not working. Let me copy that from another database. So we just copy that demo for YouTube. That's just my local SQL running in Docker. We just check, just to show you that briefly. If you look here, there's no database, whatever. We start that now. Oh yeah, that's just an oversight from my test library. You won't have that in the final version. We just need that, and we need version 6.3, I hope. Start that. Okay, here we are. Same thing. We just go to books. We add a new book like we did. I think we don't actually have to rename the IDs. test book and test author. Execute that. We see it edited. Now, if we go to the SQL server, we actually find the database here. We have the two tables here. If we go here, there's actually the book. There's the one test book we just added. There's the one author we just added. That all works fine. Now, if you go to the book, you probably won't see the author. We've seen that author. Okay, thanks to OData, we can also do that. I just copy that. We use Postman for that because you can't do that in the Swagger UI. We just ask him for the books. Is that the wrong IP address? Oh, no, we actually want to have a get. So we have the book, we have the author, and we can, thanks to OData, we can say expand gleich author. And now you also get the author included. Fancy. And thanks to OData as well, we can also say, we only want the cover. Maybe. Does that work? Okay, we only get the book cover. As easy as that, because that's OData, that's also included. You can also say OData, metadata. No, is that just OData? I always forget how that works. Yeah, there's the metadata for that. So that's all the OData metadata. That's also automatically generated. Just to remind you, we are still working in that solution with only these two files. So one additional thing I want to show you, we do things differently now. We just remove the two. Oh, just in case you want to know, just to show you that migrations are working automatically. So if we say we add the description to the author, we didn't have that before. We just start the thing. And if it did its job, voila, the author now has a description which is empty, and as you can see in the author table, it automatically added the description as well. So migrations are working automatically. If you change things, it all happens magically. Now, the other thing is something we are working on right now, or I'm working on right now. Let's just remove the two here. We don't need that. We go to the API definition we had earlier. There's nothing in here. I just copy that to make it easier. Just copy that here. So there's another way to do what we just did by just writing a JSON schema. That's all you have to do. We want these pieces, I remove them for now, not working. Here we say which ID type the primary key has. We add these fields. We probably want to add one more field to make it nice. Name, description, type, string. The rest doesn't matter. That probably has to be string as well. These two, we just remove them for now. So, and if we start that now, does a few bits and pieces. There is a bug here. So, oh yeah, I know. That's a bug we have in the, that's also a bug I have in here. As I said, that's a preview version, and there's something on the packages that has to be fixed, but yeah, the release version doesn't have that. I hope that was the thing. Okay, as you can see, we now have the cars here. We just we can create a car, and now if you look at the database, it removed the two classes we no longer need and added the one from the JSON definition. So as you can see, you can build a fully working API with database handling, with OData and everything, by just writing a simple class, or by even less, writing a simple JSON definition. There's way more to come here. Just keep an eye out on GitHub. If you like the work, you can. I'm looking for contributors, so if you want to help, just let me know. Just we have that lovely discussion place. You can take part in discussions here. You can add your own issues or just fork it and add some stuff. if you like your work, you can also go to the lovely GitHub sponsors button. You can do that. No need to. I don't want you to, but if you want to, if you like my work, then go ahead. That would be really appreciated. Yeah, that's about it. Questions? Just add a discussion item, add an issue, whatever. See you soon. Bye. And now we actually have to stop that lovely video with stop. Bye.